I want to now talk about a social media post by the California governor, Gavin Newsom's press office. And it may be the target of a Secret Service investigation. A cryptic X post said Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is going to have a bad day. You're welcome, America. It drew swift criticism from California's acting U.S. attorney for the Central District of California, who said, quote, "We have zero tolerance for direct or implicit threats against government officials." He then called for a full Secret Service threat assessment. Newsom's office later clarified its post, saying it was referring to a new legislative push. The governor had just actually a piece of legislation that he had just signed banning most law enforcement officers, including federal immigration agents, from wearing masks. CNN's Julia Vargas-Jones joins me now from Los Angeles. Julia, what more can you tell us about the legislation that the governor says this was about?
Well, this is legislation, Dana, that will basically ban any law enforcement officers from any kind of face covering. So that includes neck gaiters, ski masks, or anything that those ICE officers have been using here in California to conduct those raids. But that does not apply to state officers, I will add. So there are some exceptions, like for undercover agents, medical masks, and tactical gear. But basically what the governor said yesterday at the press conference where he announced this bill is that agents will have to provide identification and tell local agencies what federal agencies they are with, that they represent. And his argument is that anyone on American soil has the right to due process, including undocumented immigrants. He's saying that these raids here in Los Angeles and other parts of California have eroded public trust on federal officers, and that is what he's trying to restore with this bill. Take a listen.
The impact of these policies all across this city, our state and nation are terrifying. It's like a dystopian sci-fi movie. Unmarked cars, people en masse, people quite literally disappearing, no due process, no rights in a democracy where we have rights. Immigrants have rights, and we have the right to stand up and push back, and that's what we're doing here today. This is a disgrace.
And the legislation is supposed to go into effect on January 1st, but Newsom already said that he is expecting challenges to this, and those challenges have already started to come in. We did hear from Tricia McLaughlin, Homeland Security Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, who said that basically federal enforcement officers are being assaulted by rioters, having rocks, Molotov cocktails thrown at them, and a sanctuary politician is trying to outlaw officers wearing masks to protect themselves from being doxxed and targeted by known and suspected terrorist sympathizers. Now, Newsom addressed this at the press conference yesterday. He said that they just had failed to provide any data to support that kind of assertion, that there was a rise in assaults on officers. But more important than that, than the pushback from the DHS, is the kind of rhetoric that we're hearing from the acting U.S. attorney for the Central District of California, who also said that the state of California has no jurisdiction over federal officers, and that he has already directed those forces to not take this legislation into account. So the key question here is, how will this legislation be enforced going forward, Dana?
Julia Vargas-Jones, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it.